Anyway, John and I are super excited to have you tonight to talk about Short Answer, the platform that my wife and I are building, but also EduProtocols, the amazing pedagogical frameworks that John has been working on for quite a while. Yeah, we're super excited to have you. John, do you want to introduce yourself to kick things off for folks that don't know you?
Anytime anybody says that, I always think of cheerleaders. Introduce yourself, right on. I'm John.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm oh, Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. Well, they got the I love that movie. I love that movie with Bill Murray. Anyways, I got distracted. So
Yeah.
my name is Jon Corippo. This is year 29 plus of education. I started off as an emergency credential teacher because my wife wanted me to have the same schedule as her for holidays, and we just keep going. And 29 years later, we've written all these EduProtocols books, and I'm seeing some of my friends like Martha Conway, and hopefully that's the same Martha Conway. And we're just having a good time out here teaching teachers how to be their best selves and enjoy the process of teaching and like not feel bogged down by all the paperwork and all the grading and stuff. And then Adam and I met and we just pretty much fell in love in about 4 seconds flat. We're like, it's like that meme where there's seven Spider-Mans pointing at each other. That was like when Adam and I met each other. We're like,
Right. Yeah.
and so what I want to show you guys tonight, I'm going to just start off with what's this random emoji business. So um as a sixth grade teacher, I noticed every year the kids coming to me from fifth grade, they would keep writing these paragraphs that sounded like this. Hello, my name is John. I am going to tell you about firstly, secondly, thirdly, this is my favorite part, as one can see, the end.
Right.
And I was like, God, I gotta stop this. Like, it's so bad. I don't want to read this. I guarantee you the kids don't want to write it. So I did a little looking into it, and the fifth grade teachers were doing this thing that was called the power paragraph. And I was like, what is power about that? It's super templatey. So I went on a long journey. I read a book, and I'm gonna put a link to the book in the chat. It's called Image Grammar by Harry Noden. It's a fantastic book. And he wrote it maybe 1995. It is old school. He's a junior college professor. And he noticed the same thing as me. The kids can't write. So, all of you younger Gen Alpha teachers, this is not a new problem. Can I get an amen from the teachers out in the audience? This is not a new problem. This is what's going down is kids haven't been very good at writing for a long time. And in Harry's book, he talks about the idea of if we teach kids how to write every kind of sentence, like brushstrokes for a painter, their paragraphs will automatically be better. And what we do in school is we keep saying, write a paragraph, write a paragraph, write a paragraph until 12-year-old Adam is like, I don't, I don't like paragraphs. That's a big problem if you want to be a writer. And then the second book that was my inspiration is called Pinkert's Practical Grammar. Both of these books you can probably buy, you guys, on uh, Amazon for probably like $2. They've been around, and uh, Pinkert's Practical Grammar taught me one big thing. And this guy's a full-blown university professor. And Robert Pinkert says that a paragraph does not have to have a catchy lead. It does not have to have a certain amount of sentences. It does not need to have a transition. And I'm going to let that sit there for a second because, Adam, how much time do we spend on transitions? A lot.
Yep.
And then he goes on to say that uh, Stephen King, if Bro wants to write a whole page that's one paragraph, he does.
Right.
And so his postulation, see how I went fancy there. His postulation is that the most important skill of paragraphing is staying on topic. And the problem is when we use the hamburger paragraph or the power paragraph or races, and I even seen this in argumentative, you guys. How many of you have seen this in the chat? We're going to do argumentative paragraph. State your opinion. 3 facts. Rebuttal or counterclaim, restate the opinion. That's a formula. You are not going to talk your mom into Disneyland trips with that kind of skill set. And so and I want to be clear, I'm not against the formula. I'm against the formula as the end all be all. Is there a place where we need to give kids a template? Yes. But here's where the random emoji part comes in. We're going to give kids emojis. Emojis are fun, they're open-ended, they're exciting. Sadly, they're not as hot as they were 2 or 3 years ago, but they're not going anywhere, right? Emojis are just baked in now. They're not as viral. So the first thing is Corippo doesn't know what's coming. I'm going to give you 5 emojis. I don't even know what's coming. That creates a sense of excitement with the kids, right? It's not just the same old thing. The second thing is I give the kids 1 emoji at a time. That keeps them scaffolded and comfortable because I've tried giving adults 5 emoji at once and I figured they have college diplomas. They should be fine. They're not because they're like, what do I do? What do I do? I've got all these emojis. What do I do? And so the process is pretty simple. We give kids a certain number of emojis, one at a time, and then they write about it one at a time. So it's sentence one, sentence two, sentence three, sentence four, sentence five. Now, for our demos tonight, we're just going to probably do 3 sentences, Adam, because
Sure.
we know that they can write. But here's the big push. Can kids write creatively on the fly and stay on topic?
Right.
And then stay away from you guys. Oh, okay. I like catchy leads, but my degree's in journalism. The worst thing you could do with a lead is use a cliche. And yet we're teaching kids start off with a question. Did you know? Are you interested in? Have you heard of? Let me tell you, dude, that's not good. It's nice. From a journalism perspective, we just start by starting because the story itself is interesting. Other little trick, and then we can start. I think you want to blast through a couple slides too after this, Adam. The
Okay.
other thing is this. Um, when kids say, what is it? I say, what's SpongeBob say? Imagination. It's not my problem. So Adam might see mochi in one of the emoji, and
Right.
I might see banana pudding. Not a problem. Not a
Right.
problem. I just want kids to get in there and vibe. And you guys, before we jump into the slides, I'm going to just tell you this. I can do this without any special tactics or tricks. I can get kids to happily write 3 paragraphs in under 20 minutes. And Adam, you've seen it. That's where you're shaking your head. And they will ask for more. And they'll be so engaged, they don't even think of Chat GPT. They don't even think of voice to text. They get in there and they're so excited. And then the last part is the best, Caitlin. Yes, the last part is the best. And you've probably experienced this too, Adam. When all the kids are doing this,
Yeah.
read mine to nobody in particular.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. So if you like that, if that's giving you edge of goosebumps, um, it's
Yeah.
just absolutely fantastic. And then Kelly, we're going to show you some more tricks, but Kelly's fantastic. You guys make friends with her. She's on fire right now. So Adam, I'm going to give it over to you. I've been talking like crazy.
No, no, you're good. I just want to zoom out for a second because I think a lot of the people that are joining, it's funny because we promote these webinars to people in the short answer audience and people in the Edge of Protocols audience. So if you're
Right,
joining the Edge
right.
of
It's a big
Protocols
Venn
audience,
diagram.
you guys all know, you may be familiar with what Edge Protocols are, and we just kind of jumped into it, and you're probably fine. But I'm also thinking like if you joined from the short answer audience and you have no idea what Edge Protocols are, we may be going too fast. So I just want to step back for 5 seconds and give you a brief overview of what Edge
You
Protocols
ground me,
are.
Jeff. I mean, Adam, and that's why we're fantastic.
No, it's good. And John, you should interrupt me because obviously it's your thing, but I'm gonna just briefly. Edge protocols are just ooh, now I'm like nervous to do this in front of you, John, because it's literally your thing. But the
You're
way that
fine.
I would describe them are essentially like lesson frames that are like research backed and more importantly, I would say like classroom tested ways to improve outcomes for kids in a variety of different ways. But they're
Mhm.
frames upon which you can hang almost any content
Right.
or just as a
You're
way to
doing
start.
great. Don't be nervous. You're doing
I'm
great.
nervous to do this to explain your baby to you. Okay,
Well, it's
so
basically a Venn diagram, right?
say that
What
again.
content? It's basically a Venn diagram
Right,
is a framework, right? So
right,
it doesn't matter what the content is or the age of the students. The frames work all over the place.
right. And so random emoji is one of those frames. random emoji power paragraph where kids are going to write a paragraph about emojis that are generated as John was describing. Okay, I just wanted to step back to a 10,000 foot level for at
That's
least
good.
5 seconds.
That's why we're doing good. We're hitting on both cylinders. I'm making it fast and you're making it stable.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Um, so yeah, so I don't know. Maybe we should just jump into how it works in short answer. Do you want to just jump into a demo? Is there
I
anything
th-
to
I
cover?
will check with the audience. I think that we should not do any slides based on the energy in the chat. And I
Yeah.
think we just do one.
Yeah.
And then if people are watching, and to your point, Adam, if they're overwhelmed, just go with the flow. And then what we'll do at the end is we'll demystify, like, this is why this works and this is why this doesn't work and all those kinds of things.
I like Rachel's
Rochelle yeah, Rachel's verifying slides suck, so
slide.
let's just stay with the energy.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna demo random emoji, but we're gonna do it in short answer because we've actually built it into our platform. So for those that aren't familiar with short answer, it's just a short form gamified writing platform built to embed writing across the curriculum. Mechanically, it's going to work very similar to apps that you've used for formative assessment purposes previously. Probably, we're going to share a code. You're going to sign in. We'll send out a writing prompt. It's going to be great.
Mhm.
Very quick intro to short answer.
And then
Just going to jump
Adam,
in.
while you're working on your keyboard,
Yeah.
you guys, I'm going to just give you this. You can. What's great about short answer is you can develop your prompt and then you launch it, and then you launch it, and then you launch it. So it's a really quick turnaround. It's really, really quick turnaround. So it's not like you have to go, hey, everybody be quiet for 5 minutes while I make more copies or print more, or you can just have them let up and ready to go. And Betsy Barr's here. Betsy Barr is my favorite learner. Adam, she'll send me these long emails. I need to know exactly how to do it. And I walk her through, and then like 3 days later, she emails me back and goes, it worked. So Betsy, we're going to go step by step for you.
Nice. Yeah, so I'm going to actually walk back for a second and I'll show you how to set up an activity. We've already got one created, but once you've
Yeah,
got an
so we're going to
activity
play
set up,
one and then we'll demystify how to build them. Is
exactly.
that right? Betsy, sound good?
Yeah. So you just click launch. We've got a bunch of activities. We're going to do Battle Royale because that's a free one that you all can use
Yeah,
regardless
it's
of
fun and
what.
easy. Yeah.
And then I'm going to zoom in on this a bit. You're going to want to toggle this in the settings. So it says random emoji power paragraph at the bottom. You want to toggle that and make sure it's on because it won't be on by default. You'll have to turn that
You
on.
might want to share your slides,
Are they not seeing
your
my?
screen. Wait a minute. I switched. You're good. I switched to the little tab up top. You're safe. You're
Oh,
safe.
okay, cool. I was
Okay.
like, yeah. So with random emoji toggled on, then we're going to click launch, and I will copy this into the chat, and you can just click the link in the chat,
And fun
and
trick on your computer, Adam, if you hit Control plus a couple, oh, then that works too.
yeah, I can.
Is that new? I didn't know it did that.
No, it's kind of a sneak affordance that maybe we need to do a better job of communicating. But
Yeah.
yeah, if
But
you
if you
just
hit Control plus, it'll also make it bigger. There you go.
yeah, perfect.
For the people with old eyes like me.
So if you just click the link in the chat, you won't even have to input this code. It'll automatically sign you in. You can just type in your name. And
Who
then
has Zoom flashbacks from COVID when you say, please just click the link in the chat?
I know Zoom and COVID will forever be, in my mind, be like
It's one thing.
inextricably.
Yeah. Every time it's like going into the upside down every time I do a Zoom, right? It's like I've been here before.
Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Okay,
We
so
got
Betsy,
that.
I'm checking in on you. Click on the link and then just wait. You don't have to do anything yet.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what, Adam? If you made the waiting room green, then you could tell everybody that we'll be in the green room. Very Hollywood.
You know what's funny is we're working on a whole new suite of activities in short answer, and the theming will be green. So someday soon, not
Ooh,
for the reason you just said, but someday soon there will be green weight rooms. So here we go.
I like it. The welcome to the green room. You could have a little animated banner. Are you enjoying your green room experience? Here's some virtual nachos.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Awesome. So I can tell as a teacher, I can click this down. Students can still see this. I've got 22 of you here. If I click on that, I can see who I've got. Um,
I love the way you hide and show names because, with some classes, you can leave the names up there. If you guys have been teaching for more than a week, you know this. Some classes you cannot. And it's so great to have the option.
right. Yep. Yep. So it's going to ask you all, and right now there'll be a on your screen, and it's telling you to write about the emojis, but we have not generated those yet.
Yep.
But
So you're in the green room. You're just chilling.
yep. But I'm down to start whenever you want, John.
Let's see, how many do we have in?
We
I'm
got
looking
21.
at 21 out of 32. I say, and this is a little teaching trick for you guys. I just do like this. We're going to start the game in 10, 7. And if you're not in, you can just enjoy watching. It's all good. In a real life classroom, if a kid is telling me their Chromebook's dead or they can't log in or whatever, I just have them team up with another kid. I'm not going to stop 30 kids learning for one kid. Alrighty. Now, this is the part where I want you to be very literal, Adam. Show them how to find the emoji.
Yeah. So when you've toggled that random emoji on when you launch it, you'll see in the top right, I'll zoom in on it. There's a little face here with a little tooltip when you hover it that says random emoji selector by EduProtocols. So I'll zoom out so you can see where that's at. So it's right next to the kind of big blue begin knockout buttons. It's the face here. Um, so I'm gonna click.
Nicole, we're gonna show you how to build one in a minute. Right now, we're just showing you how to enjoy it. So just be the student right now, and we'll go step by step. Although Adam is smart, he showed you where the emoji toggle is because that's like a big deal.
Yeah. So it's just top right. Click on it, and it'll pull up a modal for you. And now it's in this modal, which I'll zoom in on, that you can generate the emojis that your students are going to write about. Okay. So, and it's notice it's structured in a paragraph structure where the first sentence is going to be the main idea or the focus of the paragraph. So if I click that, it's going to generate
And
my,
I purposely did not have it say detail 2, detail 3, because that leads you down that path to detail. We want it to be open for the kids.
yep, 100%. So we've got our first emoji here. Um, we'll have you, and I'm regretting here. I tell you what, I'll set up a,
Spin again.
well, I
Or
want
if
to set up
it's,
I was going to set up a student account so then maybe I could pull up a student screen so you can kind of show what's going on both
nah,
screens.
that's okay.
Okay.
So, what you guys should be doing right now is writing a sentence about that first emoji. It can be silly, it could be serious, it could be exciting, it could be terrifying. And then wait. And this is probably the first thing that I'm thinking of. Betsy, I'm being very literal for you. Don't hit submit yet. The topic is up to you. And that's the crazy part, Betsy. That's where we're going to have the kids do the topic. Now, I can say something like this. I could say, let's do a holiday theme, or let's make it about the book we're reading. But when we're starting, just write for fun, you guys. If you see this picture, what are you thinking of? And I'm thinking of the guy that works at my local convenience store. Every day when I walk in, Adam, he says, "Happy Friday." He doesn't care what day of the week it is. And I
Nice.
say, AJ, it's Tuesday. And he goes, "Always Friday in here, buddy."
Nice. Nice.
And then
There,
Beth White, I'm going to tell you a little trick. If you do it 4 days a week, your writing scores will explode. Once a week is fine, no bad news. If you do it 4 days a week, you'll be stunned at how much the kids can write.
yeah. Yeah, I like the John, at one point we presented together and you mentioned it's like if you do it every day, say as a bell ringer,
Yeah,
over the course of a week, even elementary kids have written what is essentially a 5 paragraph essay in a week, which can seem
yeah,
like overwhelming to a kid if you just sit down and say,
yeah.
let's write a 5 paragraph
But in
essay.
real life, we're doing it, right?
Exactly.
Selena, thanks for asking a clarified question. Wait for the next emoji. And just so you guys know, we're only going to do 3 this time. Okay, now this is where the party starts. And back to your point, Beth. Everybody's written something, right? It might be about their son, their cousin, a guy who sold him a car. That's the fun part, is it's your thing. Okay, let's go second emoji, Adam. And when Adam does this, typically speaking, I allow about a minute per emoji. I don't tell the kids that. And they don't need to write a long sentence. It can be just 3 or 4 words. But what I find is usually people write and write and write. It's crazy. Have you noticed that, Adam? That
Yeah,
you say 4 sentences and they're writing 25 sentences because they're on fire. But
100%.
this is where, and Adam, you and I haven't talked about this. This is the IKEA effect. They think their essay is better because they wrote it.
Wait, explain IKEA effect. I don't,
The
oh,
IKEA
because they built
effect,
the
you can
furniture.
Google it. You can Google it. The IKEA effect is a phenomena where people think IKEA furniture that they have assembled is more valuable because they assembled it.
That's
When
interesting.
we over control the situation by giving people too much, they do this. Fine, bro. I'll write your essay. Yeah,
Right.
it's better because we built it. Okay, third emoji, Adam.
Yeah, no problem.
And again, you guys, what is it? This is perfect. What is it? What am I going to say? Not my problem. SpongeBob, imagination. Now, Selena, once your third one is written, now you can send it. Now, in third grade, fourth grade, you know what I might say, Adam? One of the sentences has to have a question.
Hmm.
One of the sentences has to have an exclamation. And Martha, it's whatever you think it is. It's your problem. And this is where the kids really light up. It sounds counterintuitive. I'm going to give Martha a hint, though, Adam. It's a drum full of cherry pie filling, Martha. It is a drum full of, no, it's wrong. It's radioactive waste. Wrong. It's a bottle of sparkling water that I just opened on the plane and spilled on myself. And that's the point. It's your problem.
Nice. So yeah, I mean, if you wanted, you can do that for 5 emojis. And again, a big part of the challenge here for a student is trying to find creative ways to connect these all together into one topic to keep the paragraph cohesive. It's kind of fun because of the randomness, but it's also really mentally, again, cognitively challenging for kids. If I click out of this, I can go out and I can see the progress that we're making. So I can see how many words we've written. I can see who's submitted at the bottom here. If I click into it, I can see what the student has written. Maybe this is something you don't want to be projecting. So maybe if you
Mhm.
are going to pull these up, maybe you want to pull it off the screen. And if you don't like what you see, so Taylor Swift here, for example, let's just pretend I don't like what I see. I can click this button over here and click pause student. And now Taylor can no longer write, and I can go have a one-on-one conversation with Taylor, and the rest of the class can keep writing if they want to. Um, and then I can unpause that student. So I just wanted to show these for some classroom management stuff.
And I missed a clarification. Jeff, bring up, I don't know why I keep calling you Jeff. Bring up the emoji again. Beth had a good question. She said, my kids in the back can't see. Control plus, Beth. Control plus. Bam. All
Yeah,
good.
yeah, that's what I'm
Control
doing.
plus, and then control minus to make it smaller.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Everybody hit submit, and then Adam or Jeff, whichever guy you're thinking of, he can see he brilliantly put a progress bar in the upper right there. So if you want to close that, see the progress bar? And I'll just stand and point at it and I'll go, guys, send them. And you'll see it go up, click, click, click as people finish off. Another subtlety for you guys, I'll just tell kids, even if you're not done, send it. Why? If you don't send it, nobody sees what you did do. And what I'm trying to build with my kids is a bias towards action. If I'm not sure, I hit send.
Yeah.
Another little trick for you guys, too, teaching wise, is people will be really shy the first try. They get really aggressive the second try. Adam, you've experienced this. They'll do something and the class will write like 700 words. And then the second round, they're at 1,500 words. And by the fourth or fifth round, they're like 2,000 or 3,000 words
Yep.
in 5 minutes because they see that data and they know what's going on.
Yeah, for
All
sure.
right. So let's start the next round.
Yeah. So
Is
wait,
this hard to do? What do you have to do to start the next round?
you'll just click begin knockout round in the top right here. Um, and what's going to happen now? So what happens next in short answer depends on the activity that you've chosen. And the activity that we're doing, it's called Battle Royale. So on your screens, you're going to see two anonymous pieces of peer writing and read both and decide of these two, which one's stronger based on the success criteria that we're practicing. In this
Mhm.
case, we're practicing creativity, okay, which I know is pretty subjective, but using
Yep.
novel ideas, who's doing novel things with these emojis, and then
Yeah, I
engaging
mean, if you
storytelling.
just wrote, I have a friend from India and he has gold and he bought a drum of oil with it. Like, I'm not in love with that, you guys. I'm sorry.
Right, right. And honestly, it might be a good idea to pull up these criteria with your kids before you start doing the writing so that they know what they need to be focusing on.
Fair
But
point.
I didn't
I
know.
get excited about the writing.
No, no, it's all good. All right, so I'll click
And
begin.
so
All right.
this is kind of think of it like March Madness, you guys, where we're doing a tournament writing right now. If you've always wanted to have like spoken word energy or that kind of vibe in your classroom, this is solid gold for that.
Yeah, here we go.
Here we
So
go. Let's see how we're doing.
we've broken the class into four teams or four groups. So you're
This is
voting
the part
within
that
that.
I always say this is like going to the eye doctor. Which one's better? Better now or better now? Better now?
No, like literally, it's like that. So
Yeah.
this was short answer started as my master's project, and the research base we grow out of is referred to as comparative judgment, which is the same cognitive psychology behind why
Right.
an eye
You're just
doctor would
A/B
teach.
testing the kids on their paragraphs.
Yeah,
And here's one, Kaylin Bullock. I can't wait for your comment on this. If you got 30 kids in your class and they all just wrote a paragraph and they all vote on each other's paragraphs, you just got your kids to read. What's the word? In an engaged way, read 25 to 30 paragraphs in
yep,
under 2 minutes. That's forget the writing. Now the reading is big.
yeah. Reading, and also if you want to go back to the writing, and I have this book literally right next to me that's going to be screwed up by my background, but it's called Best Practices in Writing Instruction, and something they talk about a lot. And this is a book by Steve Graham that I can link in the chat, is exposing kids to a lot of different worked examples of writing, and having kids analyze those worked examples. So that they can develop an internal sense of what makes for good writing. And in this case,
Mhm.
they're being exposed to maybe some really great examples and maybe some not so great examples, but hopefully by reading a bunch, they're being exposed to so many that they're again developing their own internal sense of what makes for good writing. And I think going back to what John mentioned at the beginning of this, of like, read mine. Like, I think one of the most inherently engaging for kids with writing is just creating an authentic audience for their writing of just, oh my gosh, I'm going to write something, I'm going to share it, my classmates are going to read it. I think
Mhm.
that is inherently engaging for kids. And because of the way short answer is structured, you're combining the engagement of the random emoji with the engagement of an authentic audience of people reading what you wrote, which I think is something kids enjoy.
And
Uh,
Selena has a good question, which is there a will it read it out? I know that there's a microphone, Selena, so they can speak it in, right? And
yeah,
I'm guessing that that's coming at some point if it's not there, but that it'll read back.
no, it will. So, and I forgot to turn that on, and I'm wishing I would have, Selena, but I can show you when we go back to the
But I
link.
want to throw this out there real quick though. Selena, I was in a third grade class with a girl who is a foster kid from Russia. She has a really tough background. She's not strong academically, right? Guess what happened, Adam? Her paragraph one, and I'm not kidding you guys, I am not exaggerating. She literally did this. Oh my God. I can't believe I won. She jumped up and said, I can't believe I won. I can't believe I won. It is fantastic when a resource kid has that kind of reaction.
Right.
And then let's do the next round of voting, you guys.
Yeah, hold on. So I'm sorry. I'm trying to do 25 things at once right now because I
Welcome
was
to my
trying to
classroom.
find. So I want to, because I never answered Selena's question. You can turn on Microsoft Immersive Reader and it will read aloud the text to the student. They can translate it. They can do any number of things. So I can show you how to use that. I was quickly trying to dig through and find a clickable tutorial, which I'll share in the chat here in a second, that'll show you how to turn on Immersive Reader so you can do that for your students. So we do have that. And then as you were talking about that story, John, I wrote a Substack article about one of the, like a top five moment of my professional life that happened at a conference in Texas where a teacher came up and shared a similar story. So I'll share that in the
Mhm.
chat here in a second. But
But
in the
just
next,
imagine,
let's move.
what's my prep time for this, Adam? Nothing.
Exactly. You
I
can
just
write
put up
this.
some emoji
Yeah,
and let it
exactly.
rip. And
Yeah.
so, me, the teacher, all of my energy is going to what I call, I don't know if I've told you this one, Adam, but it puts me in like the Mary Poppins position because I'm not doing things that sound like this. I can't believe you lost your pencil. I can't believe you didn't put your name on your paper. Why didn't you turn it in? It keeps me out of all of that grubbiness and it
Right.
keeps me in this zone right here. Oh my God, look what Adam wrote, you guys. It's fantastic. And
Right.
it puts me in a whole other brain space for the kids. It's way less work for me and it's much more fulfilling.
Right. Right. Um, Yeah, just to explain also on the back end what's happening. Now the class has been split into two. So half the class is seeing two responses, the other half is seeing the other two. And now we're whittling it down to one final um,
And
champion.
sometimes I will show the names for the final because it's really fun. And sometimes I keep it a mystery.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that totally is going to depend on the culture of the class and the relationships kids have in there. Sometimes showing names is fine, sometimes it's totally not. So it's up to you. Okay, I've been distracted because I was trying to find so Selena, in the chat, I put a clickable tutorial that'll show you how to turn on immersive reader support in short answer. So check that out, and then I can show you here in a second too. No problem. And then I also wanted to share for my Substack that post if I can find it. Um, it's called Crying in the Vendor Hall. um, there, like I said, it was like a top five career moment for me. So if you want to read about that, please do. Okay. We have most of our classes voted, so we're going to move to the championship round. Now, this is actually a new edition that we just launched in the last week. So literally last week we launched this. So most of you probably aren't familiar with this. So when you click begin championship, something we added was you can now discuss the responses that are in the finals before they go to the
Oh,
kids.
that's
You can
nice.
have a little bit more deliberate conversation if you want to. If you want to just jump to the championship, you just click no, begin championship. But I'm going to click yes, discuss, and it's going to pull them up. And we've got, and I can also turn off names
And
if
then
to.
back to was it, let's see, who was it? Back to Beth's question from earlier. If it's too small, what do I do, Adam? Control plus?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Or if you're on
No
a
big
Mac, you
deal.
can also just pinch depending on what kind of Mac you have. But
Yeah. So
um,
go control plus so we can read them a little better.
yeah, for sure. And I'll
There
go
we go.
left and then right. So the
There we
left
go.
says a young boy with bright potential, but with a fear of speaking in his non-native language, sat in the back of the class. He dreamed of sharing the amazing ideas rolling around in his brain, which he was convinced would make him wealthy beyond measure. And I'm reading this out loud, but you can imagine if you're doing it in class, maybe have a kid
Yeah.
volunteer and have them read it out loud.
Yeah.
Because now, how cool is that? You've got a kid in the class reading another student's writing out loud to the
Yep.
class. That's cool. He dreamed of sharing these ideas with his parents, but they were busy running the family business, an environmental waste company. Interesting. Um,
Ah,
okay,
nicely done.
and then on the right here, we have Ajitesh was over the moon, that he had found the perfect white elephant gift for his school party. He couldn't wait for everyone to see what he bought. People would be excited to open up the gift and see a bag full of money. Everyone loves money, but there would be no money at all. All it contained was a can of spam.
I
That is
love
fantastic.
spam. I would be the happiest person in the group right there. Spam's my jam.
All right, so we've got both. We've now read them, so let's
Now,
vote.
back to somebody had said earlier, do we give them a topic? This is why I don't, because people create romance at short notice. And that is what writing is about.
Yep.
It is not about what I say. And that's not to say we couldn't have a theme, right, Adam? Like the
Right.
theme could be Elf, the movie, or the theme could be, you
Right.
know, it could be, um, oh, freedom of the press, or it could be, it could be anything, but you
Right.
don't need it for the energy.
Yep. Yeah, and I've seen like for higher, like in like a high school social studies classroom, like the question might be something like, explain whatever we like why the colonists revolted and declared independence. And
Yeah.
then so they're explaining that understanding. And but then you're generating emojis and the kids are having to find creative ways to connect the emojis to that content that they just learned. So if you wanted it to be sort of a thing where they have to think analogously, you could do that too. But I do think starting off with where they're just writing a paragraph about the emojis is probably the best way to
Just
go.
for the pure fun. And then here's one more. I think I'm getting to know this audience pretty well. Um, I think Adam needs to hit the next button. This actually starts the voting.
Yeah, you should be able to vote. So there should be two on your screen, and then you just click the one that you think is stronger. And it looks like we've
I,
got,
I actually had a girl. I actually had a girl in Indiana. I think Mr. Young, Tim Arnold. Sorry, Tim Arnold, and Adam. The girl did a great paragraph, but her punctuation was LOL. So it was blah 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 LOL, blah 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 LOL, blah 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 LOL. But it was a great little vignette, or
right.
what's the word, is tableau. And I looked over at the teacher and I go, "Did she always write like that?" And he goes, "Dude, she never writes."
Hmm.
So she did the full 5 sentences, had a good time doing it, right? And I said, girl, yours is fantastic, but next time, please don't use LOL. Okay. And she goes, okay. And we go to do the next one. And guess what it says? First sentence says, LOLZ, I'm back. And then she used LOLZ, but she did what? All five sentences, right? She did the work. I can coach that over time, right? Over a week or two or three, I can fix that problem.
Right. All right. 62% of us have voted. So we're going to click reveal class choice. We'll get a little animation here and we'll see who our top response was. I'm going to show names. I hope that's okay. You don't have to show that names to the class if you don't want to, but
Oh, so
that's both Tim and
Selena's,
Martha for sure.
Selena's very self-conscious. Tim was in the final. Good job, Tim Arnold. You can tell your friends. Let's see when we're ended up here. Oh, ooh, the drama is building. Martha for the win.
Yay, Martha and Tim and Tara and
Here,
Selena.
I love what you did, Adam, where you can just hit another round and the kids don't even need to log back in. That is so slick.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a few things going on here. You can do a whole class conversation about the responses on the screen. So maybe we've already kind of talked about them, but if we wanted to, we could pull up Martha's and talk about, okay, what was it about this response that you felt was creative? Or what was it about this response that you felt had engaging word choice or whatever success criteria that we're practicing with this activity? So if we want to do class-led conversation and discussion, we can. Or we can do individual reflection. So you'll see on your screen, there's a little reflection where you can type in, okay, what did this response do that was so strong? Like,
Mhm.
how has your confidence changed in this as a result of going through this activity? What's the next step in learning for you? Just as a way to get kids thinking and critically reflecting on this experience. So I can see Taylor Swift said, the person added a lot of detail and had a funny twist. Okay, interesting. Maybe if I were leading a class discussion, I'd say, tell me more about what you mean by the funny twist. Um,
Mhm.
a really cool thing that I like to do is as people submit their reflections, we're aggregating like how much confidence changed in the class. Maybe in this case, confidence is since this is just kind of a creative writing activity. Um, I don't know, not as relevant, but if you're doing more sort of stuff where you're assessing content understanding, it can be really interesting for kids to be like, okay, if your confidence changed, why? And get kids
Right.
critically reflecting and
Which is what? Persuasive writing, reflective
right,
writing, right?
right,
And so I would actually, I'm telling you guys right now, I would probably, if I was in the classroom, because short answer existed since I've left the classroom in 2021, but I would definitely make the third round of this on the daily. The third round, your reflection comments would be one separate score. You'd have a score for playing, and then you'd have a score for writing about what you learned about writing today. And well, again, what's my work time? I can just scan through them and go, oh my gosh, Adam, good job. Martha, I love the reflection.
yep, yep, love it. If you want to, you can pull up all the responses because you might have kids that are like, read mine, read mine, read mine. So if you click that little button in the bottom right, um, it'll pull them all up and you can pull up other responses if you want to. Okay. But then, so John mentioned this earlier, but we'll do a quick little tally of like, hey, hooray, look how many words we wrote as a class in a short amount of time,
I
883.
make a big deal about that. I will write that on the board. 883. Let's bust it out next time.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm thinking, Adam. Do you want to build one from scratch right now so we can show people the machinations?
Yeah, for
Does
sure.
that sound good to the audience?
For sure. Just real quick though, if I click start another activity, all the kids will stay signed in and they don't have to do another
It's so
sign.
slick. You just go.
Yeah.
There's no log in again. There's none of that. You just go. Betsy's saying yes. Okay, we got you, Betsy.
All right, we'll keep you all signed in. So you want me to show how we set up what we just did? So I'll click create activity, and it's literally just going to walk me through. Okay, what's the question or writing prompt? So in our case, we just did, oops, sorry, hold on. Let me go back.
And
Uh,
let's do what somebody had the question. Let's do it right about the emojis, and then let's go first person holiday theme. And here's the thing I want to share with you guys. If I've got any like middle school teachers or high school teachers who are thinking this is cool, but it's basic, you can layer things in there for days. You can say, I want an irony. I want a semicolon. I want a positive sentence. I want a logical fallacy. You just drop them in the box and you can make this an incredibly rich experience.
yep. You can attach images if you want to. This may not be as relevant to a random emoji, but you can attach images if you want to. This is a premium feature, but we use AI to then read. In this case, this may not make sense from the AI because it doesn't have the full context of the emojis yet, but we're auto generating sentence stems
I
that
love making AI
I
guess. It's
use.
just like working with sixth graders.
Yeah,
Who
exactly.
knows what you're getting?
But if you did, actually, some of these aren't too bad. During the holidays, I love using emojis. That doesn't make any sense. Um, I love blah blah blah. So that is first person narrative and could potentially fit what you're doing. So you can change these however you want. And then these will be available to the kids as they're doing their writing. So if you've got kids that need extra support getting started with writing, or if you got kids that are like, I'm stuck, this can be a good support. Be like, hey, use one of the stems to help you get started or the outline. Okay. And then this is the last part. This is the success criteria. So in the last one, we had set it to creativity and engaging
Mhm.
word choice. We have a little bank here of pre-created ones that you can see, like focused on
And
writing.
again, you can do this, but you don't have to. So it's just like, again, like for Betsy, just skip all of this. Just ask the kids a question and start writing.
Yep.
And then as after you use it two or three times, you'll start going, I wonder what this success criteria thing is. And I noticed that we have the create your own custom.
Yep, exactly. So you can make it whatever you want. Um, the way I would describe creating your own, it's almost like if you're thinking of it like a rubric, it's the column of the rubric that would be all the way to the right. That's like the ideal performance description column. So it's like I don't know what would our criteria that we'd be working on here be like maybe clear paragraph
Let's
structure.
say, pursuing an idea, staying on topic.
Oh yeah, staying on topic.
Because that's one that's not necessarily going to be in the standards,
Right.
but that's the goal of this lesson is staying on topic.
Yeah. So now this success criteria is what either the students will use to provide feedback to one another, or we do have some AI activities where the AI will give students feedback on their writing. And this is what the AI will use to then specify its feedback to your success criteria. So we'll create that. And then I've got a bajillion of these pre-made, so I have to scroll to the bottom and then it's here. And I just click add, and then we're done. So maybe I'll get rid of this. So we'll just do
And
two.
then again, while Adam is building this, once you build this assignment, you guys, he's going to show you the rocket. You can just launch first period, launch second period, launch third period. You don't have to build this for 6 periods, or you don't have to build one for Monday through Friday. You just launch over and over again. Once you've got your template where you want it, launch, 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 launch. It's great.
Yep, for sure. Okay. Do we want to do a different one, John? We could do quick writes and AI activity if we wanted to do that, I suppose.
You know what? I got to tell you, I mostly do battle royale and quick write, so I just want to watch the master work right now. Show us one you like.
Let's do quick
I think
write.
quick write's probably a great choice.
Yeah, I would say of all our five activities that we have right now, quick write and battle royale are the most popular. So I'll do quick write. You can set the difficulty if you want to turn on those differentiation options for kids, the stems, outlines, and translation options. That's here. And then I wanted to go back to this because Selena had asked about it. That immersive reader support for students is here, so I'll toggle that on. And then again, I want to make sure at the bottom I've got random emoji toggled on, um, and then we'll click launch.
Oh, I was going to back up. There's one more button on there you guys will love that says allow copy paste. Which one am I going to turn off, my man? Goodbye, Chat GPT. Goodbye, Sora. Goodbye, Apple Notes enabled with AI. No copy paste at all, at all.
Right.
Okay, I'm checking in with Betsy. How are we doing, Betsy? Is it making sense? Yay. Okay. Because my logic is if I can help Betsy, I bet there's five other people going, thank God for Betsy. So it works out great.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, now you guys can jump in for another round.
Yeah,
And
I'll
this is the
share.
beautiful thing about repetitions. It's going to feel more comfortable. You're going to be like, oh, I just click here. Oh, I just click here. This is no big deal. It's very smooth.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you click that link in the chat, it'll automatically sign you in. And you should see now that I've turned on those scaffolds for you that I created. So when you got your little text box there off to the right, you should see like stems, outline, translation. If you click on those, it'll pull out these little differentiation options for you if you need support getting started. Um, Again, I didn't edit those, so some of those might be uh, AI garbage because in this case, the AI auto-generated ones don't have the context of the emojis. So
Yeah,
it's
there was no context. It
yeah,
just said make something about emojis, and who knows how that's going to look.
yeah. Okay, should we generate the emojis? We've got 36 people.
Let's go.
All right, let's do it.
And then, and remember, Betsy, he just goes up to the little face up there on the right, and then boom, boom, and click, and then he can hit Control Plus to make it big for the people in the back.
Yep.
Is Quick Write a premium feature, Adam?
Yes, it is. It is.
Okay.
So when
And
you create an account, if you don't have one already, though, you'll get access to it for the first 40 days. So you should still be able to use it if you've never used short answer before, at least
and
for
I
the.
will tell you guys, the emoji are always free. That was one of the things I said with Adam. You can always use the emoji for free. So I'm not making any money off of my idea from 19 years ago. We're just having a good time with it because I just feel like teachers should have this capacity.
Yeah, random emoji will always be free, and then the activity that we demoed before, Battle Royale, is also always free. So that gives you enough leeway to use this, even if you don't have premium. So anyway, I generated the first emoji for those that are doing the writing. So it looks like we've got a water polo player here, or maybe I'm being too literal. Uh,
Right?
maybe
It
this
could
is
be
like
my
a
sporty athletic sister,
yeah, or it's like a
or I could be a
superhero. It's like
parent tired of taking my kids to sports. I don't want to be the mom or dad Uber anymore.
is it?
And there's such an opportunity here. Oh, it could be a mad soccer player in a flooded gym. Who knows?
Yeah, I was gonna go superhero with like it's not a ball actually. It's like an orb that they're gonna like shoot at something. You know, um, maybe that's a little too abstract. I don't know. But yeah, we've got our first emoji. So write your first sentence about that. And keep in mind with this one, we're writing in the first person and it needs to be holiday themed. All right. I didn't set a timer, John. Is that a minute?
Yeah, that's good enough. We're adults. Maybe a few of us have had a glass of wine or a margarita. It's really keeping things popping.
All right, we got emoji too.
Correct, Betsy. The kids, they get the emoji from the big screen. Again, another classic Betsy clarification. I guarantee at least 8 people were wondering.
We're going to give you some think time here.
I'm going to adjust your thinking, Jeff. I don't like think time. I like work time. When you tell a 10-year-old boy to think about it, you know what he's thinking about? Twinkies, ding dongs, In-N-Out burger, recess. I
Well,
like giving kids a chance of time to work. So, like, here's 3 minutes, write the best thing. And here's another trick, Betsy, you'll like this one. I will sometimes start off my short answer experience with kids. I'll just give them one empty box and it says, write the best sentence you've ever written. And the kids are gobsmacked because nobody's ever asked them to do that. They're like, what should it be about? And I go, well, let me give an example. Don't write, the Dodgers are great. You have the gift of communication. You can do better than that. Tell me something that matters. Tell me something that means something. What's something you care about? Tell me something. And it's a really fun way to start off writing with kids.
for sure. All right, I got our third emoji. Looks like a gavel, but maybe it's not a gavel. Who knows? You can't hear it, but on my screen, you can play music in the background, just kind of soft ambient music to set a vibe in the classroom. I'm not sharing audio through the screen I'm sharing, so you're not hearing that, but just for reference. And I guess from a classroom management perspective, um, that's up here, right next to the emoji
Mhm.
face. So if it's blue, the music plays. If it's not, the music will stop.
And then the timer's there because I begged Adam to put it there. Um, but I can do a series of 1 minute timers or a 3 minute for the whole event.
Yep. And John, the timer now does show up on the random
Oh,
emoji
nice. Cool.
modal. So yeah, if you did want to set like a minute per emoji, you could do that. Now it feels like you get 3 more minutes, but maybe we're not going to actually do that. So hold on. Do 1 more minute.
And you guys do not underestimate the timer. The kids have been told their whole careers that they can get 1 more minute and they will depend on that. I tell them, bro, it's over in 5 minutes. And if you can't do 3 sentences in 5 minutes, you're going to trigger a whole bunch of other activities you don't want to do. So I suggest you crank out 3 sentences.
Yeah, it'll make, I don't know if y'all are hearing that, but the timer at the 30 minute, sorry, 30-second mark will tick. And then once you hit 10 seconds, it'll tick. And then once it goes off, there'll be a little chime and then we can move on. So if you haven't submitted, you got 10 seconds. 10 seconds. We're just going to do another 3 sentence one. Yes, Kelly. You can set, and if you want to, and I can show this, but you can set a timer in advance um, such that when you click start, every student begins writing at the same time. And when the timer goes off, every student's piece of writing will be submitted, and that's it. So if you want to be really strict about the timer, you can, and I can show you how to do that. Um, but we've only got 22% of folks that have submitted. I'm wondering if it looks like we had some people pulled over from last time. It's almost looks like it's like doubled, which is a bug on our end, and it wouldn't be a live demo
Oh, yeah. It's
if
seen
there weren't a bug.
existing players as two people.
Yeah, it seems that way. So I think our percentage is actually off. So, in the name of time, we'll click begin feedback and reflection. All right. So this one's a little different. In this case, you're going to get some AI feedback on the different success criteria that you've set. Um, Miss the holiday directions. No worries, Martha. I've noticed that it doubles the people sometimes when I play with my students. Well, that's a bug, and I'm glad that we're discovering this now. And I'm actually going to share my contact information at the end of this. And if you experience things like that in the future, please just reach out because we'll get it fixed. I'm making note of this as we speak. So sorry about that, but it wouldn't be a live demo if something didn't break. So here we are. Okay, I'm going to click begin feedback. And so with this one, what happens is instead of doing peer review where we're providing feedback like this one's stronger than this one, like comparative judgment, in this one, we're just going to get AI feedback for each success criteria. So it's just going to give you a little proficiency score and then a little 2 sentence explanation of what you did well and how you can improve your response. So on your screen, you should now see your response on the left and then some AI feedback on the right. This music. So I don't have a student screen to share with you, but if you've got that, there'll be two little, like a thumbs up or a thumbs down button below your first piece of feedback. Once you've read that first piece of feedback, give it a thumbs up if you agree with it or if you find it helpful. Give it a thumbs down if you disagree with it or you didn't find it helpful. And then your next piece of feedback will pull up. And you're going to get a piece of feedback for each success criteria that we're practicing. Okay. And then
And
once
then I'm
you've
going to
done that,
comment on Martha's comment real quick. She said, "Oh my gosh, I missed the holiday directions. I'm just like the kids." I'm going to just tell you guys a little teaching trick. If I've asked for 3 sentences and they write 3 sentences, I accept them happily. If they're off topic, I don't worry about it today. And I learned this from a D1 football coach. He said, if kids work hard on the football field and you chew them out for doing things wrong, but they've worked hard, pretty soon they're going to quit working.
mm,
And so, Martha, I would, in your situation, I would just take it right in. I would love it up. I'd have a good time. And then tomorrow I would go, Martha, guess what I'm going to say? And you know what? After 2 or 3 reps, that problem will resolve itself. I don't have to say, Martha, you're out, because like I don't want to give people negative feedback. I want to clarify their misconceptions.
Yeah, for sure. Martha, in response to your third question there, this was called Quick Write. I can show you how to launch it. It's a different activity in short answer. Um, So yeah, okay. I think our numbers are thrown off because of the bug in the app. So we're gonna pretend like everybody's submitted here. So the game of this one is now we're gonna add up the proficiency scores that we earned within each success criteria. And this one's a cooperative game. So we're trying to hit a class score goal together. So we'll see if we did it. I don't think we probably did, given that the numbers are going to be distorted by how many people are in the room that aren't actually in the room, but we'll see. All right, here we go. There's dramatic music playing on my screen, so just pretend that you can hear dramatic. Yeah, 99 points. I don't think we're getting there. Not a bad start though.
Oh yeah, Caitlin's got a good theory for you, Adam. It may be that people joined again from the link.
Ah, yeah, I think that's probably what it was. Because
So you probably need to put in an if then statement. If then, right? If they're already in.
yeah, yeah, that's my fault. I think that's exactly what happened. Thank you for the troubleshooting
Good
there.
troubleshooting, Caitlin.
Yeah. Um, yeah, Martha, good question. So the points are based on the proficiency score that you earn. So just to keep things kind of simple and uniform across a wide variety of use cases of people that use short answer, we just kept it to three categories that you can earn. It's beginner, intermediate, or advanced. With beginner, it means that the success criteria was not present at all. So you earn 1 point for that. If your success criteria is scored as intermediate, it means the success criteria was partially present in your response, but was maybe missing things or making mistakes. And with intermediate, you get 2 points. And then if your piece of writing fully contained the success criteria with no mistakes, then you get advanced, and that's 3 points. So regardless of what you score, you earn points. But the goal in this case, and you saw it here, the class goal was 99 points. We're trying to get most kids to be intermediate or higher. And if most kids in the class hit that, then they'll hit the class score goal. So in this case, we didn't. So the flag fell down and made a sad trombone sound and said wah wah, and you couldn't hear it because I wasn't sharing audio. If we had hit the flag, it would play exciting music and it would like, play
And that's
be a
and
celebration.
that's why I'm trying to get the kids to write efficiently. 4 minutes for 3 sentences means I can do 3 rounds of this in under 15 minutes, which means I can do it 2 or 3 days a week. But that first one's a little rough, and the second one's better, and the third one they start really getting cooked. They're going right along. And I think Adam already explained why the AI was chugging on the emoji that didn't exist yet, which is one of the fun things of emoji. Now, if you want to beat that game, what you could do is do 3 random emojis, put a screenshot in there, and then have the AI analyze the emoji, and you're good to go. And that'll totally work. The thing I don't like about that though is now your emojis aren't really random,
Yeah.
and they see all three at once. But there's 1,000 ways to do it, and none of them are wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, and there was another good question from Angie. Can you get points if you didn't submit your answer? So it's going to pull through whatever you have. If you have nothing, the AI is just going to say like, it doesn't look like you wrote anything, beginner, 1 point. And that's not actually cheating the system because it's actually going to make it harder for the class to hit the score goal because that score goal is based on the total number of students in the class. So maybe I'm reading into your question wrong, but if you're worried about kids like opening up multiple tabs and like just trying to game it where they get more points. It's actually setting the bar higher the more people that are in the room, which will make it harder to hit the goal. But maybe I'm overthinking this. I don't know. But I hope that answers your question, Angie. Um, we have options now too. So if we want it to be done, maybe this is just a bell ringer and we're done and we're out. I can click end activity. But I can pair kids up and have them discuss what they wrote with each
I
other. It's
love
just
this part.
pair share. If we
Yeah, why
want,
are
we
we
can.
getting our butts kicked? And what you guys did in the chat very nicely.
Yeah. Yeah, the class goal aspect is a big part of what we're trying to pull off with this of like a cooperative team-based thing. We can pull up responses if we just want to do a class level conversation. And I can see actually I'm glad I did this. It looks like somebody flagged their feedback for review, like maybe they disagreed with it. So this could be a good opportunity to talk about that. because AI feedback is generally high quality, and I can share the research that we felt comfortable basing this off of because it is increasingly pretty dang good at providing feedback on student writing, but it's not always right. And AI does hallucinate and can make mistakes. So we wanted to have a lever in there for kids to communicate that. So maybe we want to pull this up and talk about it as a class. So I can see the feedback off to the right and the proficiency score. And we can talk about like, okay, was this accurate or not? And if not, maybe let's change it. Maybe this actually wasn't beginner. Maybe it was more like intermediate. Um, so I think there's obviously our goal here is to improve writing outcomes, but there is some AI literacy, I think, with this too, where you can have some meaningful conversations with kids, specifically with the quick write activity. And then the most popular option here by far is revise and resubmit. And now the students will be asked to then revise what they've submitted, and so they'll have their submission, and then they'll have the AI feedback off to the right, and then they can revise and resubmit it. Um, and Latara said, that was great. I love AI when teachers use it, not so much students. Yeah. Um,
Mhm.
I could talk about that for a long time. We lead half-day workshops with schools specifically on writing instruction and how do we adjust writing instruction in a world where AI can write for kids. Um,
Yeah.
but
And I
yeah,
agree. I'm not giving fifth graders chat GPT. Now, maybe a junior in high school, right? Because they're a year and a half from entering the workforce. But when we talk about AI in class, generally speaking, I'm thinking about what can it do for me in terms of feedback for students that's immediate, reducing planning time, making the data clearer. But I see this in the news and I'm like, bro, we're not giving chat GPT to fourth graders. That is not going to work. That's a very not super good idea in my opinion.
yeah, I would agree with you. I would agree with you. Okay, so I'm going to click end activity in the name of time. Um, and hooray, look at all the words we wrote. If I do want to assign the results to a class, you can create
And
class.
notice that our word count keeps going up, right?
Yeah,
Because I think we were 833 on one round. And so it just naturally starts going up as you get more comfortable with the interface and the process.
yeah, for sure. So I'm going to remove you all and just show you what a report would look like. So I can see on the report the emojis that were generated, and then I can see the student's name, what they've submitted, their feedback in this case. If it were a peer feedback activity, I'd see the peer feedback. In this case, it was AI feedback, so I see that. This is not generally something that I would pull up in front of the class. This is more for your purposes, like during a prep period or after school or whatever, when you want to review the results. But these live in the results tab, which are now organized by class. That's a new feature that launched just last week too. So you can now organize your results um, based on which class completed it. It used to just be a big list of all the activities you've ever launched.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah. So that's the basics. I hope that that covers uh, at least the basics of how short answer works and also the basics of random emoji. Does anybody have questions as we start to move?
Alina has one. She's got a hot question, which is, can teachers share a class? Can you have a co-teacher?
We don't have that feature right now, but that has been requested a lot. So it is on our roadmap, but it's not in the app yet. So I'm sorry. No, Selena, not right now, but in the future, I promise. It's on our
It's
roadmap.
easy. Just share your login, Selena.
Yeah. Do we give the students a code to access short answer and class link? You could. What I would recommend doing is you'll have to launch the activity. I'll just do this real quick. Um, and then what I would do is take this link uh, that it gives you once you've launched it and then share it out that way. And then the kids can click that and it'll automatically sign them in. Otherwise, what I've seen other teachers do is you can just go to myshortanswer.com and then click the join activity button. And then it'll take them through to this like code enter screen. If you just link to this screen and maybe just make that an ever-present link in ClassLink or however you structure it, then the kids can just always know to go and click that, and then you can share them the code and they can sign in that way too. My shooters is a lot of fun. If you're looking for some, yeah, battle royales are most popular for sure. Especially it's on the free plan too. Yeah, short answer is freemium, Noel. So what's free and what do you have to pay for? The best way to answer that, I'll just send this in the chat, is plans and pricing. This will have a checklist of the differences between the two plans. And then if you scroll, this is something that people miss a lot. If you scroll to the bottom, it has clickable tutorials for every premium feature. So you can get a real sense of what those premium features are. So I put that in the chat. It's a good question. Um, Kalen says, I love that EduProtocols is pairing with awesome ed tech tools. We're not the only one. I think part of the reason John keeps calling me Jeff is because Snorkel
Snorkel. Yeah.
is and their founder and an awesome tool that EduProtocols is partnered with in addition to several others. So yeah.
Oh, you
Um,
two guys are fantastic Venn diagram, which you're classroom teachers that get it. You're giving us AI tools that make sense instead of like, and there's one called something something AI, and there's one called magic something. And the problem with those tools is they're really just template generators. They're not pedagogy changers. And what I love what Adam's built is that this actually allows me to be pedagogically sound, not
yeah,
just make like it's not just a TPT generator. Like it actually changes the way your class works that benefits you and the kids.
yeah, yeah. There, I could talk about this for a long time, so I'm gonna not get on my high horse, I promise. But I do think there's been a lot of um, let's do what we've always done, but let's just do it really fast. And unfortunately, I
Mhm.
think AI has sort of
Yeah.
accelerated practices that haven't
Yeah.
necessarily been
So
working.
if we used to be able to do 4 worksheets a day on a mimeograph, Betsy Barr knows what that is. Then that means we could do 10 activities a day with a risograph. And that means we could do 50 activities a day with AI in the cloud. That's not really making the experience better. It's just more.
Yeah. More in the chat. Yes, Betsy, teachers can subscribe individually. There's more information about that on the link right above where you posted that. Um, can I have links ready ahead of time? Okay, memory, no, not right now. And it's probably the biggest flaw in short answer. It's the number one thing we hear from
Oh,
teachers.
so
So
you don't have like a homework mode.
we don't, but it's coming. We're literally, I can pull up the Figma designs right now. So it's not there yet, but it's coming because it's the most requested feature. So I'm glad that you asked that. I don't know when it'll be in there, but definitely by next semester, we're going to start rolling out asynchronous. We're calling it, oh my gosh, I should know this. We're not calling it homework mode because we also want it to be something teachers can do at stations. So it's more like student paced or something, I think is what we're calling it. Um,
Oh, and then Tim and Kaylin, did you guys see that we've got a road show coming up at the Air Force Academy in Dayton in July. We're gonna actually be at the U.S. Air Force Academy. It's gonna be super cool. Super cool.
yeah, that sounds amazing. Um,
Imagine this, Adam, doing a thick slide. We're going to give everybody 10 minutes to go find a picture of a historical plane, take 5 pictures of it, and then we're going to do a thick slide of the plane you just looked up.
that's
How
awesome.
cool is that? I cannot wait.
I'm writing down Noel. I'm writing down your information. I'll send you a follow-up. I've got so many PD materials for short answer, including I'll share the slides that I'm leading here if those would be useful. But yeah, I'll definitely share those with you, and I'm happy to support that PD on January 5th. Um, Tim, thanks for the love. Uh, okay, awesome. Well, yeah, I was planning to go from 7 to 8 my time, so want to respect that and kind of wrap things up here. But we really appreciate you all joining us, and hope this was useful for you. Oh, I guess one more thing, my contact information. If you have questions or want to follow up, it's just adam@myshortanswer.com.
I'll put mine in there. If you just met me, I'm pretty famous for free lifetime tech support, and Adam and Jeff are both good at that.
Yeah, we pride
See,
ourselves.
I'm going to say both names. It just solves the problem.
And a recording of this will be going out, and with that recording, I'll share the slides. The slides also have our contact information in them, so you can find that there. Um, but otherwise, we really appreciate you joining. We can hang out and answer any questions that you have. But yeah, we really appreciate you joining us. Have a happy holiday season.